Okay, so now graphic design is coming to birthday cakes, and we should say you're listening to The Greatest Show, the soundtrack we all have on repeat from The Greatest Showman, a show and a song that we just can't get out of our heads or get over. This cake brings that song, that theme, that movie to life, and it's really not about elaborate frostings here, just a punch-out image, and then you can stick it on your cake. It can be done, and it's easier than you think, according to our cutest cake friend, Betheny Tomseth. This looks like it takes some serious skill.
It only takes skill in the sense that you have to kind of be a little bit of an artist, like to paint and draw, which I don't have that skill. So I made my daughter do it.
I don't believe you. I think it's probably in there somewhere, but your daughter is such a talented artist in her own right. And you're as obsessed with this movie and soundtrack as the rest of us?
I am so obsessed.
Yeah.
The second I walked out of the theater, I bought the soundtrack and then I saw it like 3 times in the theater.
I love it. But here's the thing. This is the perfect example, I think the perfect theme to punch home this idea on, because if your child comes home and says, I want a Greatest Showman cake, yeah, you can go circus, but there's really not a way right now, because it's so new, to totally customize that for the party.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that you can do anything you want with it. Just like you said, you can customize it. And this was one of our favorite characters from the movie, so that's the one I chose. Instead of doing all the characters, that's the one I chose, and that's a fun focal point. Now, this technique is really, it's still so easy. It does take some skill as an artistic skill, but it's still so easy. All you do is you pick out a character.
Okay.
You can either kind of draw a template like we did here, or you can get like an image from online, maybe a silhouette or whatever you want, and then you just cut it out. And that's your template that you're gonna use for this technique here.
All right.
Okay.
Done. Then what's the actual material we're using?
This is gum paste.
Gum
it
paste.
looks like fondant. Sometimes it behaves like fondant, but it will dry faster. You can roll it thinner, and then it'll be nice and solid and really stiff for you.
Okay.
Unlike fondant. So that's what I've done. I've just rolled out some gum paste. You take your template, and this is how easy it is. You just take a really new X-Acto knife. It has to be really, really sharp, or else it's going to pull your fondant. And then you just kind of hold it down really lightly. I chose cardstock because that way my fingers won't press into the gum paste here.
Gotcha.
And then you just trace around the image.
I mean, in some cases, detail will matter here, right? Like the little arch of the toe, for example.
Exactly. So you just get that cut out. And then go around. And so, yeah, you just trace it out how you want it.
Okay.
And then you pull that off. Your image will be all cut out, just like in here.
You've got one here for us.
I do have one here. And this, I'd have it in this plastic bag because it will dry out really fast. Okay, so keep it covered. I did this a couple days ago, and it's still good.
Kind of like Play-Doh.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And so now you have your template, right? And you can kind of look at your photo for reference. And what you're going to use now is just some food coloring, some good quality food coloring.
She says she's not artistic, and she busts out an art palette, a paint palette.
These are just for my cakes. I have a couple of these just for my cakes, but I make my daughter paint on them for me. So all you're going to do is you're going to get some kind of alcohol base here. So this is vodka, but you can use like an extract, a vanilla or a lemon extract.
Okay.
And because it's the same property you're using it for, the alcohol base, you just put a couple drops in there. And then you're going to take your color, like here's my pink. I'm just going to kind of dab it in the pink just a tiny bit.
And this is just food coloring or
just
what?
Food coloring.
Okay.
Just food coloring. And then I'll mix it in, kind of get the concentration that I want.
Mix it into the alcohol base.
That's right. And then you just kind of have to play with it and see how it behaves and get the right color that you want. So now I'm going to do her hair.
I guess you're kind of watering down the food coloring as you blend it with the alcohol,
right? That's exactly what you're doing. Yeah. And so her hair is my favorite part. So you just do the pink hair
because it's pink.
Yes, it's pink. It looks like cotton candy.
I love it.
And so we learned that when we were doing this, you kind of need to do nice long strokes so it doesn't look so kind of brushy, I guess.
Choppy,
Yes, choppy. So nice long strokes, and it's going to get your food coloring the way that you want. We started with the skin base, actually. Okay. So we kind of colored in all the places that her skin would be.
And then layered on top of that.
And then we layered like the purple and things like that on top of that.
Do you need to let each layer dry, like the skin tone dry before you layer on the cotton candy hair or whatever? Okay,
no,
you can just blend.
Yeah, well, you can blend, but you try not to overlap as much as you can. But if you do, yeah, you just let it dry a tiny bit and then you overlap it.
Okay.
And then once you got to that point, once this is all painted in, then you're going to take, you can either get just black food coloring paint, or I like to use an edible marker.
I can see why, because you've pinned on some serious detail.
Yes, this is where the detail comes in, and and you can get really, really precise with this. So for instance, I had her legs here, and then we kind of did the cross hatching here after we painted the gold.
Right.
And then we just kind of outlined her whole body to get this nice,
this is fun.
really sketchy look on here. So it was really, really easy. Well, because I didn't do it, but it was really,
well, you're
really
doing
easy.
a darn good job faking it for us today.
Anything you want to do, like we have, like my daughter cut out a cute little llama.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
That would be so adorable.
This is so cute. Llamas are big right now.
I know.
Like they're having a moment.
Give her a little
right?
floral crown and you're good to go. I did a little succulent cake here. My nieces, since I can't do it, my nieces are also talented, and they painted all of these. And you can even get like a cookie cutter instead of using a template.
Oh.
If you have a cookie cutter for it, great. Use that cookie cutter.
And then just freehand.
And then just paint it. Yeah.
I like the marker too because the paints themselves, the food coloring itself, almost that watercolor effect, like a really softer, more subtle color tone.
Yeah.
And the marker kind of jumps forward with the contrast and the highlighting and the details.
Absolutely.
This is fun.
And there's another technique. You can use powder as well.
Okay.
So here's just the luster dust or the petal dust that I use. And then you just kind of rub it in.
Dry?
Yeah, rub it in dry. And it kind of gives you a different look, a different like, almost like marker or colored pencil look, right? And then look at that. And then you can just marker right over that.
Sure.
With the paint, you have to let it dry, obviously.
But the dry dust, you could just...
Yeah, and then you just marker right over that.
This is such a creative challenge, I think, creative expression. How do you then get the shape itself, once it's finished and painted out, drawn out, to adhere to the actual cake body?
Okay, so you can leave it straight like this little guy. I like to leave them straight. These little guys you can leave straight, and then you just put some either white chocolate or royal icing and stick them right to the cake like that. And I love the 2D effect. This one, I really wanted it to kind of wrap around the cake since it was long.
These are hard. These will stand up just as they are.
Yeah, those would be great. And so what I did was I just took a cake dummy that was the same circumference of my cake. This is a 6-inch, that's a 6-inch. And then I put some little toothpicks on here to kind of stabilize it so it won't roll back and forth. And then I just laid my little lady right on top of that. And now we've got the shape and she sticks up just like that.
What's the character's name? I'm drawing a blank. We know her real name. Is it Zendaya?
Zendaya is her real name.
What's the character name?
Oh my goodness.
Anybody?
I can't remember.
We love her. We love her.
Anne?
There are people, there are people yelling at their TV screens right now. Like, come on,
and I'm obsessed with the movie.
I know, me too.
I think it's Anne.
Okay.
So we'll just call her Anne.
Okay.
And then it's like the perfect fit, right? It
Look at
fits
that.
right up against your cake.
It hugs right against the round surface. This is such a fun idea. Thank you so much, and thanks to your daughter too for showing off her artistic skills here. What's coming up on your YouTube?
Actually, I've kind of got a little time lapse of how we painted this guy on my Instagram channel, and so yeah.
And you've got a speaking engagement coming up, I understand.
I do, and it's my first one, and so it's at SALT. Have you ever heard of SALT before?
I have.
It's an LDS women's retreat, and so it'll be in Arizona. Typically, it's here in Utah, but this one they're doing in Arizona, which is going to be really fun. So
you're speaking.
I'm excited.
Do you know when it is? The date?
I'm speaking on March 3rd.
March 3rd. We'll circle that event if we're able to travel and see you, and hopefully there will be some tidbits posted afterward. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.